When C called me and was like, E, let's do this, I was like, bet. And I always know something wrong when C hit me with the soft voice. E, I got something to tell you. I was like, what's up? I said, I'm going, I'm good. He's like, you got to test out. I was like, I got to test out? What that mean? He's like, you can go without testing, but you got to test to go back home. I was like, oh, see, I don't know, see? You know, I got test anxieties. I'm just being real. I go to the dentist and they like, let me go and call the doctor. I'm like, what you calling the doctor in for? They're like, your blood pressure is up. I was like, my blood pressure ain't up. You made my blood pressure go up because I ain't coming in here. I was like, do it when I leave and watch. And every time they do it at the end, it's good. I'm just like, I got anxieties when they come like somebody putting something on me and they looking at numbers. I was like, man, I can't go back. So I was a little nervous. This morning, they were supposed to meet me at 9. They never met me. I was like, whoa, something up. They know something? I waited to 10, nothing, 10:30. I was like, I'm out. So I thought I was like, just gonna get away with it. Came back. So my man, you see, I don't know if y'all see y'all ever noticed the ninjas? Have y'all seen the ninjas here? If you pay attention, you'll see them in all red. They just be scoping. Pay attention when you go back to your room. Like you just look up there and they just like, right? So I know they saw me coming in because as soon as I came, a man came, he's like, yo, we ready. I was like, ready for what? He's like, testing. When you gonna be ready? I was like, I got a dinner tonight. Can we do it after the dinner? He's like, we need to do it before. I said, but can we do it afterwards though? He's like, yeah, but it's only gonna take 5 minutes. I'm like, but I need to take a shower, right? I just don't wanna take no test. They was like, just give me 5 minutes. My man came in like suited up, Apollo 15. My man was suited up. Came in the room, did the little whatever. I'm boom, 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 boom. I don't test well. I said, and then he was like, boom, look at the line. I'm like, oh no, which line is this line and that line? You can't cross that line. And I was just watching it go up, go up. I was like, oh, right. And he was like, you good, you negative. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So, all right, I'm comfortable now. Y'all don't know it, but the first few days, I wasn't really happy. I wasn't myself, right? I was just thinking about this test. I was like, I don't got enough clothes to stay here for 14 days. You know what I'm saying? And then Didi was like, if you test positive and I test negative, I'm out. I'm like, oh, you know what? You gonna leave me? She's like, I'm leaving. I ain't staying in whatever little hotel they got, that ain't this. And I was like, man, I know. So anyway, we good now, right? All right, everybody on 3, take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm comfortable now. All right, so 3 things I wanna leave you real quick. The first one, today we went to whatever the little spot is right here. And you know, my wife, I love her to life. You know, she just, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. This is the year to get over my fears. I was like, bet, let's do it. So it's like, she named some stuff off and she's like, we zip lining. I'm like, all right, bet. So we go in there and do the ATVs. I guess that's what it's called first. And I wish C could have been there because she decided when we got in them, I think it was maybe a 20-minute ride. She's like, yo, I'm driving. I'm like, I knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no surprise to me, right? So she in there doing it, like trying to keep up with Carl. We get off, right? I'm talking about it. We all over the place. We get off. She's like, that was so much fun. I was like, I'm sure it was. You was in the driver's seat, right? I'm sure you just got energized. You feel me? So then I was like, all right. She was like, what's next? We're gonna cross it off. I was like, all right, what's next? She's like, zip line. I was like, bet. So we get in the line. It's like a 40-minute line. Then I'm so mad at them because I don't know what they were talking about or what they were deciding, but while they were doing it, I was watching a group of 100. Literally, there was a group of people, there was 100 of them. And while they were talking too. And before you know it, before Didi and they came, the 100 went right before it. So we standing in line behind the 100. I'm like, man, that was about a 20-minute wait, right? So we get in and they put the little things on us and as soon as we got up there, Didi choked. She's like, I'm out. I was like, you out? We stood in line for 45 minutes. She was like, I know, but I just wanted to do it once. And they say you gotta do it 7 times. And I'm like, man, I can't believe this. She was like, all right, let's go. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. I stood in line for 45 minutes. I'm about to zip line. I don't care if it's 8 of them, right? So the first thing I wanna say to you guys is that, and I don't know in what area you need to do it, but there's an area in your life before you go back that you need to do something that you're afraid to do, right? And so for me, you know, I was like, all right, D, you pumped it up. She named, what is it? There's a couple other stuff she named and she didn't do today. She's like, I'll do it tomorrow, right? But she got so close. She got closer than she's ever gotten before. But right when she got up there to do it, she stood in line, you know, she talked that talk the night before, talked that talk, you know, right there. But then right when they were like, you gotta do 7 things, right? And a lot of times, I remember, you know, getting a PhD, the master's was easy. Like, the master's is you're a freshman and then you're a senior. right? It's not a whole lot in between. And I remember with the PhD and some of the other, ventures that we've done, that when you start, you have in your mind that you got to do 1, 2, 3, but then when you actually get up to it and you decide to do it, 1, 2, 3 turns into 30 steps, 40 steps, 50 steps. And I need y'all to do me a favor, like 2 things when it comes to fear. The first one is I need you to face the fear. Why? Because whatever it is you're dreaming about or praying about or whatever it is God told you to do, it's actually beyond Goliath, right? I'll say that again. So whatever it is God is asking you to do, in David's case, it was to become a king. He couldn't become king without facing Goliath, right? And so what I need you to do for me is I need you to, before you leave this place, matter of fact, if you get a chance, go to the beach, and we picked up some sand today. If you have a challenge when you got all the energy before, you got all the energy when you're in line, but then once you get there and you actually see what it is and you see all the stuff you have to do, I need you to vow from this day forward that you'll never turn around again, right? So just real quick, I want you to do me a huge favor. I just want you to think about what are those things that, you fear, whether the conversations, whether the activities, what are the things that, and can I be real, when I did the zip line, boy, I promise you, that wasn't even a hard part. I was like, Dee, you right. If I were you, I wouldn't have done it. But it had nothing to do with the zip line. It had everything to do with the stairs I had to climb when we got to each one, right? So what I didn't realize was, of course, we're going higher and higher. So when you go from one to the other, and it was literally at least 7. So when you go from one to the other one, when you get to that one, now you got to climb these stairs and then you got to climb the ladder to get to the top. And each one, you got to keep climbing, right? So there are those of you who, and again, I don't know what it is, right? Maybe you can do yourself a favor right now. If you can pull out your phone, maybe write it in your phone, right? I don't know, send it to yourself, right? Or maybe you can, I don't know, however you want to do it. But I want you to face those fears, okay? Whatever those fears are for you. Now, for me, some of those fears used to be having certain conversations with people. It's just like, I pick up the phone, whatever. And I realized, yo, E, you making it deeper what it is. Just have the phone calls, just make the phone call, right? Or telling somebody no, you know what I'm saying? And especially those people that will keep calling you and keep calling you, keep calling you. And it's like, yo, E, if you have to say no 50 times, just muster up, man up, and just say 50 no's, and just know that perhaps by the time you get to the 51st, they're not gonna call you anymore, right? But don't be overwhelmed. And I told you, I'm not playing. When I had to take the test this morning, I was walking away and I threw some stuff in the ocean. And when I was walking away, God told me, you need to throw in the water paranoia. And I don't know if anybody else has this challenge, but somebody will call me and I'm busy and they'll make it an emergency and be like, yo, E, call me as soon as you can. And I don't know what happens to me, but I automatically think right? And God was like, throw that in the water. Why are you even thinking like that? Why do you think the worst if your mama call you and say, hey son, when you get off the phone, call me. I need you to call me right away, right? And I'll call my mom right away. I'll get off the phone early, all right, I gotta get out of here. My mom called me. And I'll call my mom, Mom, what's going on? She's like, you think they have any more room at hotels at the Phenomenal Light? I'm like, Mom, I just got off a phone call. You just told me it was urgent. She's like, yeah, I said it was urgent. I didn't say it was no emergency, but I heard my mom call. My mom said, call her right back. My mom said it's urgent. And I'm getting off the call that I was on. That was an important call. And even when I'm on the call, I'm not paying attention to the call anymore. Why? Because all I'm thinking about in my mind is my mama called, my mama called, my mama called me. My mama told me to call her right back. My mom said it was urgent. And then I call my mom back, and urgent is, can you call Jeannie them? I heard it wasn't no more. I said, they told you it was no more rooms, Mom. What do you think I can do? Well, you can call them. I said, you just call. She's like, I know, but if you call them, I said, Ma, me calling, I'm not gonna make any more rooms. She's like, all right, well, do me a favor. If somebody canceled 24 hours before, call me with the cancellation. I'm like, yo, E, stop. So how many of you guys have something that it's like, man, when I get out of here, that particular quirk in me or that bad behavior, I need to let that go before I get out of here. Anybody, fear, whatever it is. It's like, man, when I leave this island, I gotta leave this on the island. Come on, raise them high. I gotta so all right, so I just want you to do me a favor. Let's just take a couple minutes, think that thing through, and physically in your mind, before you actually do it, I want you to see yourself throwing that thing into the ocean. Just take some time, let it go. And then as you're letting it go, I want you to think, what's on the other side, right? What's on the other side? Right? What's on the other side? And so I woke up, man, I'm telling y'all, for real, I'm being real, right? I woke up this morning, and this was the first morning, because it was test morning, right? I woke up this morning, and Didi was like, how you doing? I was like, I think I was sweating last night. She was like, you sweating last night? I was like, yeah, I think I'm sweating. She's like, what else? I was like, I think my throat hurt. She's like, your throat hurt? I was like, yeah, I think my throat hurt. She's like, what else? I was like, I sneezed a couple minutes ago. She's like, you sneezed? I was like, yeah, I sneezed a couple minutes ago. She's like, boy, you silly. Get over here and let's pray, right? But I'm being real. Like, when it comes to tests, for whatever reason, as an adult, I still have anxiety. As a matter of fact, as an educator, I chose to go the administrative route and not the classroom route, because if you go the classroom route, you have to get recertified every year. And so I literally didn't go that route because I didn't want to take a test every year and not be able to feed my family because I failed, because I couldn't pass a test. So I went the administrative route because you don't have to take a test. All right, so I'm sure most of you have not struggled with that, but maybe you're in the room and you know you take this route because you're trying to avoid that route. Just for, maybe it's only 2 of y'all like me, but raise your hand if you know you avoid things at times because you don't want to take the route. You leave them up, don't do that. Don't leave me out here by myself. You avoid, you know you could, but you're like, I don't want to, so I'm just gonna go, let me just, yeah. All right, so hands down. Now I just want you to envision, what would it look like? Look, I'm serious. I'm leaving my test anxieties here in Mexico. When I go back, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to create something negative before it actually happens. Let me say that. Like, I'm not gonna think in my mind the worst before I actually pick up the phone and call my mom. I'm actually going to think, when my mom called me and she said it's urgent, I'm actually going to think like, oh, it's urgent, but it's not like what I think it is. Like, everything is good, everybody's doing well, like, don't worry about it, all right? So just stop for a minute, just want you to think that through, right? In your own personal space. Like, when I go back, if I get a phone call, right? If somebody texts me, right? If I get an email, don't make that up. Be positive, think positive, right? Because what happens? Of course, they didn't do the test at 9 o'clock, and then they didn't do it at 10 o'clock. And then by 11 o'clock, I was like, yo, I'm about to just go enjoy my day. But I wasted 3 hours being nervous about something that didn't even exist. Does that make sense? Good, does that make sense? Good, so when we get back, whatever your little thing is, right, I want you to deal with that. All right, so here's the next one, right? So how many of you would agree that to some extent, since you've been here, it reminds you of paradise? It's like, wow, this was nice. Like, this resort was beautiful, right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to figure out, what was it about this place that created, I heard a couple of the bros like, yo, different. You know what I'm saying? Like, my relationship, like, it just was a different vibe. It was a different energy. I'm not gonna necessarily, ask you to raise your hand because we're gonna assume that it's always been like that. But, you're like, I'm just being real, I don't know if it was I'm not sure if it was the ocean. I'm not sure if it was the food, but it was a different energy. Like, we were vibing differently, right? So I want you to kind of think through what that was. And then as much as you can, when you go home, I want you to recreate it. All right, so in my mind, I'm automatically knowing that a lot of it for me was not having to clean up like I clean up when I'm back at home, right? I know that was, I was like, oh, I'm loving this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gotta make the bed. You know what I'm saying? My wife loved the bed being made, right? So there were some other things that I didn't have to worry about. I love picking up the phone and like, yo, bro, let me get that margarita pizza, and if I can get a Caesar salad. Like, I loved, right, some of the things that me and Didi were able to do, because there were some things that when we're at home, we don't have time to do those things, all right? I also thought about it. I was like, yep, my daughter's at the house. Yep, that's kind of messing some stuff up. So when we go home, I love my daughter to life, but she is 23, right? And I'm like, sweetheart, we're gonna have to make some hard decisions, but I don't want her in the house when we're in the house, right? We're gonna have to figure that out. I'm just being real. We're gonna have to figure that out, because that I felt when I was here, I was like, I love my daughter, but I saw the energy. I said, okay, I can see how my daughter being the third I can see how that, okay, bet. When we go home, and we talked about it, like, love our daughter to life, but we in Cali, she probably need to stay in Michigan. And if she come to Cali, we probably put a time frame on it. Like, it ain't you just unlimited at the house. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, like, I'm coming. I'm like, from now on, I'm gonna need you to fill out a document. Are you here a week and a half? But 2 weeks, you can't extend it to 2 weeks. That's like living here, right? You think I'm playing, you think I'm laughing, I'm not, right? Man, she's a good kid, but it's like, being here, I was like, I figured out you might be part of the equation that I need to check off. Amen. Still love you to life, but I might need to just get you, I'd be better to get you an apartment. Amen. So I want you to think about what are some of the things that created, that vibe while you were here, and what are some of the things that you can do when you get back. And as always, please, I just need maybe 2 or 3 people to entertain me. You're like, this was paradise. And let's just be real. Paradise doesn't have to end, because paradise is not a place, it's a mindset, right? And we can take that same mindset back to where we are. And some of the things that we loved about this week, we can recreate that. And some of the things that we didn't like about our marriages or ourselves, when we got here, when we go back, we don't necessarily have to take those back. So just 2 people, if you don't mind, just give me like, it was a different vibe. And when we get back, here's some of the things that I think we need to change up, when you get back. So 2 or 3 people, entertain me. I'm not taking this back. We're gonna keep paradise. At least try to do it for a week or 2 when you're back. So give me some stuff that you can do. Yep, I got you. Good, stop worrying about what other people, yeah. When you're here,
it's none of my business what they think.
I love it. Good. Anybody else? Anybody else had that revelation that I really do need to stop worrying about what other people think and just put all my energy into making my dreams and goals become a reality? Anybody else? All right, good. Yeah, talk to me.
I'll have to stop living in my subconscious and just execute.
Yeah, stop letting that other person, that me versus me, that other end, because nobody else can stop you, but that me versus me talk is what kind of gets in the way sometimes. So stop letting that subconscious person tell you that you can't do certain things. I love it. Good. Anybody else? Yes, love it.
Like to stop relying on people and like 100% everything I can do to do what
good, I love it.
I need to do.
Good. 100% of what you can do, you're doing it and not passing it off to the next person. Yeah, love it. Taking that responsibility. Good. Am I missing anybody? Yeah.
Here and taking risks, stepping out, taking risks. Yeah.
Good. No more excuses. Yeah, I love it. Execution only. Good. I love it. Good. Anybody else? Oh, I love that.
So you was talking about like CJ before and saying like everyone wants a CJ, but being that person and then your team will follow you.
Yeah, the ET and then the CJ comes up. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, he's saying instead of looking for a team, being the best version of a CEO he can be so he can attract the team. Good, I like that. And not looking outwardly for it, but starting within. I love that. Yeah, I love it. Good. Anybody else? I think another thing I need to do is change my mattress too. My wife was like, you didn't snore on this mattress. I think I need to figure out what they got in there. Switch that up. Yeah, whatever pillows they working with in there. Good. All right, anybody else before we get out of here? Yeah.
I realized that I can do a better job of that when I get back. To free up a lot more of my time. Because I'm working.
Good. Oh, she loves it. Oh, she loves it. I love it. He said, yeah, he lives at work, and he was like, I was here. And stuff was getting done while I was gone. So when I get back, I'm not gonna get back in that role of doing everything. I'm gonna continue to delegate as if I'm gone. Good, I love it. Yep, I love it. Good, yep, talk to me.
And that we need to get back to that hustle that got us to where we are right now.
I love it. Yeah, that'll do it. Yep, it'll get you, yep. Good. He said they just need to get back to that. Looking at this, and seeing all of this, they need to get back to that grind that they had in the beginning. Amen. And then boom, yep, this is going to continue to happen. I love it. Good. We missing anybody before we go? Yes, ma'am.
House for a little bit longer, but we can't kick her out yet. But we live away from our family, and so we're the only 2 people who are responsible for her. So I think having this opportunity to reconnect and talk about what some of our plans are, both in our lives as husband and wife, but also our business ventures has really been phenomenal. So having the opportunity to kind of get away. So we're gonna have to get more creative, even though it's just
Yeah.
the two of us in the area. So maybe we go to the drive-in and let her just fall asleep in the
I
back.
love
Like
it.
figure out what those creative ways are, even though our circumstances aren't changing right now, that we can still get what we want out of life, even though things are what they are
I
right now.
love it. Yeah, I love it. You know, real quick, just to add to that, like literally one of the things that, and I've been on trips before, so I'm getting smart, right? I literally decided when we leave here not to go home, right? Because my daughter's still there. Yeah. So we're going to Orlando I got a gig, but we're gonna stay out there for about 5-6 days, then go home. So, but I planned that. You know, like, we could just go back. I could have just went back to Detroit and then left on Thursday to go there, speak, and go back. I was like, don't do that. Like, do it, double it up. You know, you never done that before. So do this, and then take her somewhere and just let her just sleep or do whatever she wants to do. Because this is cool, but she likes to shop. You know what I'm saying? It's her therapy. So for me, it was like, extend paradise by doing this, but then going to another resort. We're going somewhere in Orlando, four seasons. Right? So it's like, we're gonna do another one and then go home. So almost stretch it to, 2 weeks. You feel me? So yeah, that's good. And you saying she 18 months, so she's gonna be 18. So just prepare, you know what I'm saying? Cause she might not ever, I'm just saying, just prepare, right? You think by that time it may or may not happen. So have your contingency plan. Good. Anybody, is that it? Yep.
All y'all here, I ain't never been nowhere like this, but I know all of y'all done worked hard to get to where y'all are. So I just think, I need to work a little harder to get to where I want to be. So.
21-year-old said he need to work harder, to get here, because he's looking at what you guys are doing. So because wherever the fears are, let's face them, right? Whatever they are, let's face them, let's deal with them. Yeah, in whatever form they come,
Fear is when you're nervous about something that may not happen. When you beefing with your spouse or beefing with your business partner or beefing with your kid, you understand when you're you understand that you're giving energy to something, and the reason why you can't execute because your energy is not on the thing you're trying to do no more. The energy is on the thing you beefing with.
Hi, my name is Shelly Hayes, and I am from Nashville, Tennessee, and this is my second Phenomenal Life Conference. It's amazing. I'm looking forward to going home and just doing a complete reboot and reassessment of everything and starting all the way over again and getting the whole grind back and using 2021 as a jumping point for the best of my life to come.
I'm Chris from London. It's our second time with Phenomenal Life. The first time was Jamaica. The second time is Mexico. And the truth is, what brings me back to Phenomenal Life is the people, man. It's the team. It's like my second family. It's family away from home. I love the team. I love the people. I love the encouragement. I love the faith. I just love the feeling and the aura, man. It's powerful. I don't think I'm ever going to miss a Phenomenal Life.
What brought me to Phenomenal Life was, again, the family and the people. Just seeing everyone doing so well, everyone different levels, millionaires or just anyone just trying to make it in life and make a better life for themselves, and just encouraging everyone to do the best they can, to be the best they can be.
I want you to respect everybody in your circle of influence. And if there's a position that they can play, I want everybody that can play that position, I want them to be in charge and not you.
Phenomenal Life has been an absolutely amazing experience for my mom and I. We have realized and conquered so many fears this week. We went cliff jumping today, also zip lining with nothing attached to us, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But it really helped us conquer fears and realize that we need to conquer more fears in business when we get home. So I'm super excited about that. I also feel like I need to put more systems in place when I get home to free up my time and energy so I can do more trips like this.
Like going to a movie or going to a conference, like you love that, you like the energy part, you like the passion part, but you don't necessarily do anything with what you get.